Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brothers.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so today's subject is the 10 promised Jannah. And this is the 6th part in the series. So we've done 5 previously. And today we're going to speak about a Sahaba name. Actually, before I say his name, I'm going to ask you, do you know or have you heard of a Sahaba called Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah? Your hand was up first.
Yeah, so he used to, this is what I know, he used to be a Christian, an idol worshipper, and then he converted, a day after this other, a day after Abu Bakr converted.
Alhamdulillah, that's correct. Okay. That's all you know, so, yeah? Has anyone else got anything else to add to that? No?
He used to be in the army of the Khulafa Rashidin of Umar.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's correct. Anyone else? No? Okay. Alright, inshallah. So as Brother Adam rightly said, he converted to Islam the day after Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Now I'll give you a brief introduction to this Sahabi. Now it's narrated that his appearance was striking. He was a very, very tall man and very slim. So from that I'd say over 6 foot. So he's a very tall guy and very slender and slim. Yeah. He had a bright face and he had a sparse beard. Do you know what sparse means?
No.
No? It's like it's not as full as thick as mine. It's more thin. Actually, like your beard. Well, obviously you had hair, but yeah. So it's very patchy beard. And he was pleasing to look at him. He had a bright face, and he was extremely courageous and a humble, but also quite shy. So someone who's shy, maybe he doesn't speak a lot, but when you do speak to him, he has good things to say, and he's very humble and has good manners. How we should be, essentially. Yeah? That was the nature of him. That was his character. But saying that, on the flip side to that, in tough situations, he would become very serious and alert. Yeah? And he'd resemblance like a blade of a sword, So he's very severe and sharp. So that's a very brief introduction to his character and what he was like. He was described as the custodian of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's community, yeah. And his full name, as I mentioned before, was Amir ibn Abdullah ibn Al-Jarrah radiallahu anhu. But he was known as his short name, Abu Ubaidah. Right. Now of him, Abdullah ibn Umar, another Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ, said, 3 people in the tribe of Quraysh were most prominent, had the best character, and were the most modest. And if they spoke to you, they would not deceive you, i.e. lie. And if they spoke to them, they would not accuse you of lying. So if you said something, they wouldn't accuse you of lying. Yeah? And these 3 people were Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Uthman ibn Affan, and Abu Ubaidah radiallahu anhu. Now, as Adam mentioned earlier, Abu Ubaidah was one of the first people to accept Islam. Yeah, he became a Muslim the day after Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And in fact, it was actually Abu Bakr that it was through Abu Bakr, that he became a Muslim, because it was Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu who took him to meet the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he took his shahada. Yeah. These Sahabi were the first pillars on which the structure or the foundation of the deen of Islam were built. So it was these few men that basically built the deen upwards, isn't it? So from the ground up to where Islam was spread across the world, that we have 1.8/2 billion Muslims today, whereas in the beginning it was just a handful of Muslims. And that was over 1400 years ago. Yeah. Now, as I said before, he was one of the first to accept Islam through Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Yeah. And through this, he lived through the harsh experiences and tough situations that the Muslims went through during the time, through persecution, being abused, assaulted on a daily basis from the Quraysh. Yeah. As I said before, he went through insults and also violence, and also through the pain and sorrow from those experiences, isn't it? Yeah. But in every trial and test, he remained firm and constant in his belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Obviously, they both go hand in hand. You believe in both. Yeah. And one of the most harrowing and brutal experiences he went through was during the Battle of Badr. Everyone's heard of the Battle of Badr, right? Yeah. Can anyone explain to me what it was? Just a little brief. No, but you know what it is. Basically, this was the very first battle that the Muslims fought. So it was a very significant battle. And it was a battle that they won. But I'll give you a brief overview of this, because this relates to Abu Hurairah's story. So, as I said before, the Battle of Badr, Abu Ubaidah was within the Muslim forces, so he was in the troops, in their ranks, right? And he was fighting with might and courage, and he was someone who was never scared of dying. He wasn't scared of death. He was very, as I said before, his character was very courageous and brave. Yeah. Now, with that, the Quraysh cavalry. Does anyone know what cavalry means? Okay, basically, a cavalry is a group of horsemen, essentially. So you call it a cavalry. So the Quraysh horsemen. Yeah. The Qurayshi horsemen were extremely weary of him. Yeah, and they were kind of avoiding him because of his character, and they knew that in battle he was a very brave person. Yeah. But there was one man in particular from the Quraysh that kept on going towards him. So all the rest of the Quraysh were trying to avoid him, but there was this one man in particular that wherever Abu Hurairah went, he followed him because he wanted to confront him. But with that, Abu Hurairah himself tried his best to keep out of the way of this man that kept on trying to come towards him. So at all costs he was trying to avoid him, whereas the other man was trying to get towards him. Yeah. Now, the man went forward, plunged to attack, and tried to get Abu Ubaidah. And as I said before, he tried desperately to avoid him. But eventually, this man succeeded, and they were face to face, standing face to face. So behind the man were all the Qurayshi horsemen and so forth, and in front of him was Abu Ubaidah. Yeah. Abu Ubaidah could not contain himself any longer. He couldn't hold back. So he struck the man one blow to his head, and instantly the man fell to the ground and he was dead. So he killed him, one hit with his sword to the head, fell, and he killed him. Can anyone, or would anyone like to guess who that person was who he killed? Guess? I'll give you a clue. They were from the same tribe. Yeah.
Abu Ubaidah?
No, he killed the man. So who was it? I said, who did he kill?
The man that was.
Yeah.
The man that was attacking him.
Yeah, he's in the same tribe. You want another clue? I'll make it. He was related to him. Umar? No.
What does his name start with?
His name starts with. I got his name somewhere actually. Did I take his name down? Subhanallah.
P.
No, it doesn't start with P. But he's related to him. Think of someone he's related to closely.
Is it that?
No.
His brother.
Close, but not his brother.
His.
No.
His ancestor. His brother-in-law.
No.
His cousin.
Alright, I'll let you. I'll tell you guys.
His auntie.
It's not his son. His auntie.
His uncle. His
not his
father.
Alhamdulillah, his father. That's it. Finally, see, you got there. Yeah. Basically, who he killed, it was his father that he killed. So as I said before, he done his best to try to avoid confronting his father, but his father was doing his best to try and confront him, and in the end,
What does
He-
confront mean?
confront is like go towards him, like I confront you. Yeah, that's like confrontation, get in someone's face. Yeah, and he was trying to avoid the confrontation. He didn't want to fight him basically because he knew what would happen if he had to fight. He would have to kill him, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, as I said, he hit him in the head once, fell to the ground, and he killed him. Now, as I said earlier, that this was one of the most harrowing experiences for Abu Ubaidah that he had to go through. Because if you try to imagine, it's probably impossible for you guys to imagine that you are in a battle with someone that is very close to you, that you love. That's someone that brought you up from when you were younger, and you ended up having to kill them.
So I have two questions here.
Go
You know
for it.
his dad? How
Yeah.
come he didn't convert into Muslim?
He was neck deep in idol worship. That's their own ignorance, isn't it?
And
I'll
so,
Yeah.
how can the dad kill his son?
How?
Yeah.
But the son killed
Yeah,
the
I know,
dad. But how can well,
How did he want? Like,
how did he remember? They were in a battlefield, so they both had swords. So if his son,
that's your
Abu Ubaidah, didn't kill him, he would have killed his son, isn't it? Yeah.
So, what did that mean that they were both on each other side?
That's correct, because Abu Ubaidah was on the side of the Muslims. Remember, Battle of Badr, there was only 315, 17 Muslims against, I think, 1,300 Qurayshi idol worshippers. And as I said, it was a very important battle because that was the first battle the Muslims had. Because before that, throughout the time of the Muslims, they were just being persecuted constantly, but they weren't fighting back. And it wasn't until Allah Ta'ala revealed the ayats to say, go out and fight. And then, remember, they went to Badr. There was 300 Muslims against 1,300 Quraysh. 1 second. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware that the Muslims were helped by Allah Ta'ala because He sent down angels, isn't it? I don't know if you guys, you know, over 1,000 angels came down, and the leader of them was Jibreel alayhi salam. When he came down, he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to gather some dust, some gravel from the ground, and blow it at the Quraysh to blind them. And that's exactly what he picked up. It's a handful of dust and blew it. And he said, "Oh, you be blinded or confused." And then a sandstorm came up. So that was another miracle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The sandstorms came up, blinded them, and the angels went forth, and the Muslims, and that's when Shaitan as well was on the side of the idol worshippers, and he saw that. Once he saw all the angels and that coming towards them, and a lot of the Qurayshi were being killed, he turned and ran and jumped into the sea, isn't it? So basically, you had your hand up first.
Why would a son kill his own father if his father? Why would a father try to kill his son just because he isn't a Muslim?
Because the dad isn't a Muslim. Is that what you mean? Yeah, because basically they're very arrogant and wicked people, the Quraysh, isn't it? And remember, with the Muslims, it was challenging their way of living, their way of life. And when someone challenges you like that, because of their pride and arrogance, they're scared that people would follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the other Sahabas, isn't it? So in order to stop that, they wanted to kill the Muslims, to like put a stop to Islam and people believing in Allah. Exactly. Yeah. Basically, it was a battle. Basically, this battle was a battle between good and evil, isn't it? That's what it good was the Muslims, and evil was the Qurayshi and the idol worshippers. So it was very important that the Muslims won that battle. Because if they didn't, would we be here as Muslims today?
No. I mean, were we born that time?
Possibly.
No, we would. You never know, Allahu Alam, but you don't know. You had a question.
Did the angels come down after the dua that the Prophet Muhammad
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's correct. He did, yeah. And then the angels came down. You see, alhamdulillah, you know stuff as well. Yeah.
But so you know how the Prophet was saying that everything is a test or something, yeah?
Yeah.
So you know how like the people that were good Muslims at that time, they would say that it was a test, and couldn't that happen?
Yeah, everything's a test, isn't it? Everything we do. And like I said, he was tested, like one of the ultimate tests was in that battle against his own father, isn't it? Look how, as I said, someone that raised you from a baby to you're an adult that you love very dearly, but for the sake of Allah, you killed him, but it was in a battle, isn't it?
But what if he gave you away and then took you back when you were a teenager?
Then that's different. Maybe it's easier to kill him then, isn't it? Because you didn't grow up with him. Yeah? Okay. As I was saying, so Abu Ubaidah killed his father. And as I said, he didn't want to do it, but he knew because of his belief and his belief in Allah Ta'ala and the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he had to do this, isn't it? And some people might even say it wasn't actually his father he killed. It was the disbelief, it was the idol worshipper within his father that he killed for the sake of the truth, which is Islam. And I'll quickly mention this ayah which relates to this incident. Not only this incident, various incidents within this battle, because there was a revelation that the Prophet ﷺ received. And this ayah is from Surah Al-Mujadila, and it's the 22nd ayah, it's the last ayah of this surah. And it goes, "You will not find a people believing in Allah and the last day, making friends with those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, even if these were fathers, their sons, their brothers, or their clan. Allah has placed faith in their hearts and strengthened them with a spirit from Him. He will cause them to enter gardens beneath which streams flow, that they may dwell therein. Allah is well pleased with them, and they well pleased with Him. They are the party of Allah. Is not the party of Allah the successful ones?" So as I said, because of that incident and various incidents within the Battle of Badr with regards to family members having to battle against each other, with Muslims against the Quraysh, like fathers against sons,